Hey everyone, welcome to the Reddit branch. Today we have interesting stories from Reddit that I would love to hear your opinion about. So feel free to let me know what you think down in the comment section. If you enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for content like this every day. First story. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to pay rent for a place I don't live in? So, myself and 3 closest friends decided we wanted to move in together for like a year or so just for fun, and to make some good memories before we all started getting serious with life and moving away and whatnot. However, at the time, we were looking for places a few months ago. I just got a new job away from where we live, and with COVID, I wasn't sure if I would still have to move away or if I could work from home and still move in with them. During this time, one of my friend's uncles had a house available, but the problem was it was only 3 bedrooms and there were 4 of us. I told them to just go ahead with it as my job wasn't able to give me a definite answer on remote working. They all moved in, and it turns out I didn't have to move away from work, but it was too late to find a new place and they were pretty settled in. I was upset obviously that I couldn't live with them, but it wasn't as bad as the house was close to where I live and I spent most of my weekends there. I tried offering to help pay some of the bills, just a little bit each month to help with utilities, and as I was there almost every weekend, and they said it's as much my place as theirs, but they refused. So instead, I would always bring over snacks, let them use my streaming logins and things like that, so I wouldn't feel as bad not contributing anything, and everyone seemed happy with that. But recently, one of my friends, the one whose uncle owns the house, asked if I could pay rent. As I said before, I was and I am more than happy to help pay the utilities bills, but I don't live there and I don't see why I should pay full rent, which is what she's asking for. I said this to her and she said it's not fair and that I basically live there on the weekends. I would crash on the couch if we were drinking, but wouldn't be that often. My other 2 friends said that they can both see sides of the argument, but won't get involved, as it's her uncle, so it's her say, but they also pay rent, so shouldn't they get a vote? Am I being a jerk? I'm more than willing to contribute my share, but I feel like what she's asking for is too much. Edit. Yes, I don't technically live there, but they were adamant when moving in that I was more than welcome to come over all the time, even telling me I better be there every weekend. If that has changed, that's fine, but why not just tell me that? I also don't sleep over often and I always clean up after myself. Edit. Just to clear up more confusion, they don't want me there any less and still invite me over all the time, because with COVID it's basically our hangout spot, but I haven't been over much since the argument. It puts a strain on the friend group pretty much as they want me there, but I don't feel like I should go with all this going on. So to the people saying I'm overstepping, unless they're just lying to me, I don't think it's that. Also, my 2 other friends don't have a problem, it's just this one. People replied in the comments with, "You're not the a-hole. You don't live there, you're not responsible for any equal split for rent payment. Offering to throw in some cash for food and other things for hanging out on the weekends was very generous, and your friend should be actually grateful that you're willing to do that. You're not the a-hole. You have offered to help with the utilities, and really, even that offer should really only be made if you're there alone, or using the shower, or otherwise adding to the bill. If you're just there as a guest, they will be using the lights anyways. You don't live there, and there is no reasonable reason to ask you to pay rent. The occasional crash after drinking is normal between friends. Now, for my personal opinion, I don't believe that the poster is the a-hole. They don't live there, and therefore there is no reason to pay for anything. It cannot be simpler than that, to be honest." Update from the original poster. Thanks to everyone for the replies, and I can now say that I don't feel like a jerk, and she's asking too much. But as someone mentioned, I cannot refuse and then keep showing up, especially as my other 2 friends won't speak up to her. So I messaged them saying that if I overstayed my welcome or crossed the boundary, I'm sorry, and that it wasn't my intention, but that I believe that the way they handled this was rude and genuinely hurt my feelings. And I said I will only come over when they specifically tell me that they want me there. Their invites since the argument have been, "We're gonna do APC, you should come over," or "if you want to come over." But unless one of them says that they want me there, I will not go. One of them messaged me privately already saying that it's gone on too long and they didn't realize I was that upset about it and they apologized to me. They also said I haven't overstayed my welcome, as the whole point was we were gonna hang out all the time and that they would talk to our friend. But I don't think I'll ever be comfortable staying for long there again, so I think it's probably too little too late. Next story. Would I be the a-hole if I told my sister and brother-in-law that they're bad parents? My sister had a baby a few months ago. I'm unemployed and offered to babysit as they both are working from home. It was supposed to be for a month while my sister recovers, but now it's been 3. My sister and brother-in-law both tell me that they are very grateful and appreciative of me helping them out by watching the kid and cooking. Since I have been living with them, I have noticed that they both aren't very good parents. Don't get me wrong, they both love the kid very much, but there are some things. Number 1, my brother-in-law is very slow. I mean very slow. He takes at least like an hour to wake up in the morning. I have no idea what his routine is, but I will be making lunch, taking care of the baby, and he's still not awake. What bothers me the most is that he's so slow when he changes the kid's diaper. He's been doing this for months, but he takes at least 5 to 10 minutes and the kid is wailing because he's so hungry and sleepy, but he can't. Number 2, sister loves the baby so much, but also is so impatient. Regularly hand of the baby to me if she's unable to soothe him or if he's fussy. I have soothed him so many times now that I think he's actually attached to me. Whenever I hold him, he calms down. Number 3. The parents are very bad at picking up cues from the baby. I don't know if this is because I end up spending most of the time with the baby or what. I wake up at 5 a.m. to switch out with my brother-in-law. He stays up the whole night to watch the kid sleep as he's afraid something will happen, and spends the rest of the day with him till after dinner, 8 or 9 p.m. My brother-in-law, for some reason, will always default baby crying equals wet diaper. He will change the baby 8 to 10 times a night just for a wet diaper, says the kid won't sleep if he has a wet diaper. I have stayed with the kid before and he will sleep through anything, even a poopy diaper. Because of this, there have been times where the kid is obviously hungry as he woke up from his nap and my brother-in-law changes diapers for 10 minutes. Kid wails because he's hungry and upset, becomes inconsolable, and doesn't want to eat anymore. Then my sister gets annoyed. She hands him off to me, I soothe him, and feed him. I have tried to politely point out, but they both brushed it off as the kid prefers you, that's why he will eat, sleep, won't cry. I originally had a trip to visit my parents for 10 days, but ended up cutting it short to 5 days as my sister told me she was falling behind on work, eating takeout every day, and my brother-in-law was sleeping 4 to 6 hours a day because he was staying up with the kid, and the kid was being fussy. I have recently landed a job and will be starting in a few days. My sister told me yesterday if I could put it off and help her with the baby instead. She offered to pay me, but I said no. She told me how difficult the kid was and it would be a great help if I stayed with them. I was very tempted to tell her and my brother-in-law off as they're very terrible parents and it's not the kid that is the problem. People replied in the comments with, "You're the a-hole. They are human, they are figuring this out. If anything, you have been enabling their bad habits, which is really what your issue here." Something most people forget is that the new parents need to be parented on how to parent. You doing everything for them and judging them for not knowing things while not actually making an effort to teach them what you know about how to be a parent is not helpful in the long run. You cannot complain and criticize what you have the ability to change. You will be the a-hole if you just flat out told them, but since you have the out of getting a job, this is your chance to change their behaviors in the moment while you're still there. Sister says kid is fussy and tries to hand the kid off to you. Smile and say, "Nope, it's your time to shine, mom," and talk her through how to get the kid to quiet down. Same with the brother-in-law changing the kid's diaper. Same with everything else. Do not physically do the things that are needed, but give advice as they're dealing with it. And why are you spending so much time at their house? Are you living with them? If not, set normal business hours instead of the 5 a.m. nonsense. They're going to have to learn how to take care of their own kids sufficiently, and you have to give them the space to do this. Now, for my personal opinion, the poster is the a-hole here. I sense a condescending tone in the way she wrote her post. The parents are still learning, and the last thing they need is someone judging them and looking closely into every action of theirs. Next story. Am I the a-hole for wanting to call the police on my upstairs neighbor? So I have been living in a student apartment since August 2020. My upstairs neighbors have always been semi-noisy, but I have mostly chalked that up to them being men. Found out later they are actually two girls. They were making the ceiling shake and walls to the point where the light fixtures sounded like they were going to fall out of the ceiling. So I have filed 2 noise complaints with my apartment complex, but they didn't really do anything. This morning, I filed another noise complaint and wrote an email to the apartment complex manager because the girl above me kept me up until 2 a.m. being so loud. The manager is out of office until Thursday. Awesome. So they couldn't take any further action besides just giving a warning email. The office attendant I spoke to told me that if they kept me up that late again, to just call the police. This afternoon, around 2-3 p.m., the girl above me was screaming and running, stomping all around the apartment, which gave me an anxiety attack. It's 5 p.m. now and she's still yelling, and I hear loud thuds and my ceiling shakes. Am I the a-hole for wanting to call the police on her? People replied in the comments with, "You would not be the a-hole. Dude, what are they doing to make your fixture move?" Honestly, if she's been screaming and stomping around like that today for as long as you said, I would call the cops. You can ask for them to do a wellness check. That's not normal, and she could be struggling with a mental illness. Doesn't excuse her behavior or anything. If you're able, you should record it for the apartment complex if they give you gripe. Everyone sucks. Your neighbors for being so noisy despite multiple complaints, and you for bizarrely assuming they're men and only taking action once you discovered they're women. Call the police. You're not the a-hole. For all you know, there is a domestic situation going on. Plus, apartment leases have clauses protecting everyone's right to quiet enjoyment. They are breaking that clause. In addition to that one, there is usually one about quiet hours, typically 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. Again, being broken, call away. Enough pop ends by the bobo and they become a nuisance tenant, which is also a lease violation. You can also start going up the chain with the management company. Now, for my personal opinion, the poster should call the cops, but only after talking to the neighbor first, maybe. I don't know if it's possible for them to discuss this with them, but I think this can be a good first step. If they keep causing such huge noises, then the cops are the way to go. This concludes all the stories we have for this video. Thank you so much for watching and I hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free to share your opinions in the comment section down below. Until next time.